Hello, and welcome to this hopefully short look of the Tier 5 Soviet premium cruiser Mikoyan. Now, this is a ship that you unlock by getting 300 of the new Soviet tokens, which I was fortunate enough to get on finishing the first stage of the Soviet cruiser event. And because you need to unlock this ship to be able to progress to the higher tiers of rewards, i.e. the premium camos and tier 8 and tier 9 tech 3 cruisers, I got it and tried it out a bit. And basically the result of this is that I will tell you not to bother playing with it. Why do I say this? Well, for those of you that are familiar with the Soviet ships, it is pretty similar to Kirov. And in fact, it also has the 180mm guns. So you might think that it's basically a Kirov. Well, there are a couple of big issues with this ship. Let's start with the armor. We see here we have 13 here, 16, same on the deck, and 35 for Citadel. So already here we can see that it has no armor whatsoever. It is completely useless. I think that even all the DDs at this tier can pen your side easily. And you notice that. Because you eat damage from everything, and Citadel armor will not protect you much. Kirov, on the other hand, also has 13 here, but then we go up to 18. Not much, but still improvement. And then 50 on Citadel armor. And if you have played the Kirov, you know it's not exactly known for being a well-armored ship. But compared to the Mikoyan, it actually kind of is. You can even compare it to something like the Krasny Krim, which has a large piece here of 13 and even 10mm on superstructure. But then it also has 25 here and even 75 on the Citadel. We can also compare it to the Hawkins, which is very heavily armored. With only 13 here, we have 38, 50 on 64. I mean, it's just night and day. Now, at tier 5 you don't exactly expect a cruiser to have super heavy armor, so that's fine. But the next issue is that the HP is only 21,000. Kirov has 26,200. Even the Krasny Krim, 25,100. Go back to the Exeter, 29,000, Hawkins 42,000. And remember that the Hawkins also has access to heals. Hell, even a ship like the Oma has almost 27,000. So we see straight away that the Mikoyan has no armor and no HP. And let me tell you that this ship eats damage so hard. And even a random Citadel will bring you down to half HP, and I once was unfortunate enough to receive a decent HE salvo from a King George. Full HP down to about 8k. So that's fun, really. And also, I mean, you are a very long ship. It's just a lot of you to hit, and it's not that difficult. So you eat damage. The guns though, 180mm, that's nice. Well, the reload is quite poor, 13.2. Compared to Kirov, it is slightly better. But it's better. Well, Kirov has 9 guns with that reload. We see it has a dispersion of 145 meter and a fire chance of 13%. Mikoyan, basically the same reload, 165 meter dispersion at basically the same firing range, and the fire chance 11%. And this is without any flags, so you can of course improve it, and same with demo experts. One difference though is that on the Kirov you have 800 meter per second shell velocity, on the Mikoyan it's 920. So in theory it makes it easier to hit things, and well, that is partially true, but then the dispersion kicks in. And since you only have 6 shells, you're not gonna land that many shells, to be honest, most of the time. In the Kirov you have better dispersion and more shells. Sigma, by the way, is both the same on these ships. So the result is that you will not hit that many shells. Especially not when you start getting some range. And another difference is that on the Mikoyan you have access to the spotter plane, so you can get even more range, which just means that you're gonna hit even less. So ideally you want to be close, and ideally you want to use your AP against broadside cruisers and battleships, because that's the only time I can see that this ship is any good. Well, to get close enough to be as effective as you would like to be with your AP, you are likely already dead. Because like we have seen, the survivability and armor is non-existent. So it is really hard to be effective in this ship, and a lot of the time you're gonna be satisfied with just one hit. Of course you can get some lucky shots and get decent damage. Getting like a 4 or 5k HE salvo on a DD is excellent. Getting a broadside of a cruiser and do like 10k easily, nice. And same with a broadside battleship. But those instances are extremely rare because you just can't get close enough to be effective. And at ranges, even if you aim perfectly, the dispersion is gonna screw you over almost every time. Torpedoes, not much to talk about, it's the same as Kirov and 4 kilometers, so it's highly situational. AA, not gonna go into numbers here, but it is atrocious. You will not shoot down many planes. If you do, it's either gonna be extreme luck, or it's gonna be because you have been shooting AA for the last 10 minutes. So the Sea can basically do what he wants to. Just for comparison, Kirov 48. Of course, this number here is not everything, but it tells you a lot about how this ship deals with AA. And you can't even spot the fighter, have the fighter plane instead of the spotter plane. So you really don't want to deal with CVs, that's for sure. Maneuverability, it is pretty similar to Kirov, but with a significantly better rudder shift time, which is a good thing. Problem, of course, is that at this tiers, something like a battleship has pretty poor dispersion, and even if you do everything right when evading shells, they will still quite often stray and hit you anyway. And even 1 or 2 AP shells from battleship will severely hurt you considering you have no HP. Concealment is probably one of the few good things. Without Captain it's 11.6 compared to Kirov's 14.2. Of course Kirov has no camo right there, but even so, the Mikoyan is significantly better, and with the Captain you can sneak around fairly well as long as there is no DD or CV. So that's something you could potentially do. Sneak around, get a good angle or something, and unleash a good AP broadside. Well, after you have done that, then what? Well, you're spotted, and you're big, you're close, and you have no armor and no HP. So ships will shoot at you, and you will die. It is a real hassle to play, to be honest. You can, if you work really hard, do decently, I would say. I don't remember exactly, but I think my highest damage number is between 70 and 80,000, which is, I guess, okay for a tier 5 cruiser, but considering how hard you actually have to work to do that, it's not worth it. And most of the time, you're not even going to survive long enough to do any decent damage, because, like I said, you die all the time easily. The highest potential damage I managed to get is, I think, about 800,000, which was a lot of work and, to be honest, a large extent of luck, because there weren't that many stray shells from battleships and I could avoid most of those shells. But most games you're not even gonna reach 500,000, I think. Now, there is actually a mission on stage 2 of this Soviet cruiser event where you're gonna have to do 5.5 million potential damage in either this ship or one of the other new premium Soviet cruisers. And when you on a good game get 500,000, you have quite a few games to reach 5.5 million. And you're not gonna enjoy yourself. That's probably the best thing I can say. You're not gonna do the damage you want to because you're not hitting things, and you can't take any punishment in return from other ships. So it's a very frustrating ship to play, and it's bad. It's just plain bad. So why does this ship exist? Well, after playing it I was raging a bit in Discord, and one of the guys there basically said that it exists so that you will spend doubloons, and by extension money, to get more tokens to get to the actual good rewards, the Tech 3 ships, tier 8 and 9. Because of course you have to go through this ship to get to those. And of course the same goes for the premium camos for those two Tech 3 ships. And that is honestly probably the best and only explanation for why this ship exists. It's to get people to spend money. Because as it is, it's not worth even taking it out. Everything this ship can do, there is other tier 5 cruisers that can do at least as good, and in most cases way better. Now, there is actually one reason to play it once you unlock it, which again you have to. And that is that there is a mission, which is, I think for the first 7 wins you get 15 tokens per wins, which will help you in your struggle to get to the next reward. When you do this, if you decide to do it, I highly recommend to do it in co-op. Because even if you somehow manage to get 7 wins in randoms, you're just gonna be ready to throw out your computer out the window. Because it's so painful to play this ship. You don't get rewarded for your good play, and you get punished for good play as well, because, well, dispersion at low tiers, or mid tiers I guess. So it's just going to be painful, and it's probably easier to just get it over within 7 co-op games. But yeah, that is basically the Mikoyan, an absolute garbage ship that exists only for the player base to spend more money. Not the most fun video, but if you haven't already unlocked it, now you more or less know what you expect.